This is where we stopped last time. Excited. I are excited. Yes. Okay. New content. Let's go.
Oh, new content?
Oh, new content.
What does that mean, new content?
New weird shit. That's gonna happen. Let's go. Let's go. Not creepy at all. At all. Not creepy at all. Very dark. Oh, I love the music.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
You're welcome.
As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Oh, they have the same narrator. I loved him. He's so sassy. Such a sassy gentleman, right? How can these two words coexist? But they do. Because he's such a sassy gentleman. I love it. By the way, that's the best presentation of a like expansion that I ever saw. Very good.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Is it broken?
What's going on here? Should we
Can I
be
click on something?
moving somewhere? Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Anything interesting here? Nothing interesting. Okay. Jumps remaining. So exciting. Oh my. Can't jump anymore. Definitely exciting. Was worth the money. Definitely.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive.
Well, it's not my
just
fault.
elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content?
I don't
If this
know.
is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
I love him. I love him. I gotta know who's narrating him because this is art. Oh. Can I jump? I cannot jump.
That's it?
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see,
One
Stanley,
of the lights isn't
this is
even
what
working.
happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance
Really?
department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Friend? We're friends now. We're even closer. We have a connection. It might be love. Might be love. Love. Must be love. Love, love. As always, the doors behind me close. Oh, that's my room number. I hate Mondays. Relatable, friend. That's the view from our room. Oh.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
Fun. Can we go?
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares?
Fine. I'm sorry.
Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
Did you call me a dork? Oh, that's not nice. That's not nice. Now he's being sassy mean. Coffee nut. Oh, we're gonna fall down. Whee! What happened? The end is never the end is never the end. Let's see.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
The game developers will never know. Never. Oh. Oh. So pretty. So pretty. Very Dark Souls, right? I hope it's not gonna be like Dark Souls. That shit is scarring.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Oh, I would really love to be there. Such a view. Can I answer the phone? Oh, we're doing a little picnic? You will bring the sandwiches? Yes? The Memory Zone. Let's go.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Zone Sweet Zone is like Home Sweet Home. That's all the awards that they won? That doesn't seem right. Yeah, for some reason I don't believe that they won this. For some reason. Not sure what it may be. Smile because it happened. I bet that's the first dollar that they made. I need to read how to get this achievement, and I will get this achievement. Oh, I will not get this achievement. Go outside. No. No money. British Academy Award. I wonder if those are real. That's probably not real. Oh, that's the scene when we died. Tough choices. We didn't have to make any choice. In love and memory of little Stanley? Did the developers have a little mouse that was named Stanley? Probably. And that's the reason they called it Stanley. Is there a piano? That's a piano, right? Oh, where is then?
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now, a lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
You know what I love? That we've been playing for almost like 20 minutes, right? And most of those 20 minutes were them just hyping themselves up. Like how much Stanley was great. Look at all the reviews we've got. They're just hyping themselves. Maintenance. I want to go there. I cannot. Okay. Oh. Person of the year. Well, is that me? That's the woman that stood over our dead body. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Two doors.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories. These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Ooh. Like we had the pretty memories, and this is what's really happening. Like behind.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
I think they were okay. It's like the warehouse. Not recommended.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny,
A bit
with his
obnoxious.
humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Not the pretty memories, but all the warehouse behind it. Feel very philosophical.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I?
Yes.
You can
yes,
tell
you
me
are.
if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh,
You are
goodness.
preachy.
This is actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always
Light
thought it
and
did,
airy.
but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure.
Oh,
Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
they actually have the name of the person who wrote the review. That's some way of dealing with criticism. Reviews, fragile. Where can we go? Over here. Jump, jump.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Don't let yourself be so influenced by other people's opinions. I mean, a lot of people are stupid. Why would you change your life or try to fit your life according to some random person
And
opinion?
here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you with just the push of a... Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations.
I feel bad doing this.
Well, there's
like
sport.
stopping a
You
person
really
in the
did
middle
catch
of
me
a
rambling on a
sentence.
bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your finger. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes.
Really?
It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone.
The door is gone.
I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button. Oh, Stanley, you're back.
Oh.
You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again.
The tree died.
Stanley, I think it's been a week.
A week?
Or
From
2
12
weeks.
hours to a week?
I've
Well,
been
that's
sitting here all
escalating
that time,
quickly.
just sitting here, not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just
Oh, I
talking?
feel bad.
But it isn't, Stanley.
I feel bad
It isn't the
pressing
same
it. I
at
don't
all.
want
It isn't
to.
even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley.
Well, that's kind
I'm
of the
realizing
point, to not
that
hear
I
you, but-
needed to know that someone... Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret.
Oh.
There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities.
Missed
I felt
opportunities.
nothing at all but regret
Where's the
for
light
the
coming
longest
from?
time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling
Again?
had begun to subside,
Again.
what took...
He's not even talking now. The tree completely died. No lights. That's the only light. Was that camera always on? I don't remember it being on. We have nothing else to do but to skip again. Is it in the game or it's live? Even the clock fell. Is it the fire alarm? Maybe it's a fire alarm, not the camera.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he...
Like, I get what the game is trying to say, okay? But, like, it's getting a bit repetitive. But I get it. I get it.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
I was afraid for a second that I can't press the button anymore. You know, like, okay. It's taking it longer and longer to go back to being pressable again, and my heart is skipping a beat. Anything changed? Like anything? Maybe behind the wall? Nothing, right? It's raining? Is the room breaking? I think the room is starting to break. Oh, maybe that's our way out of here. There is no door for us to escape. Maybe if enough time passes, the room will just, like, collapse. I was right. Let's go all apocalypse on it. Yes, yes. That's our way out. I hope. Is it our way out? Another last skip maybe? And it will be our way out? Oh, it's so pretty. The way nature just takes over when humans are not interrupting it. You know what to do. To do, to do, to do, to do, to do. No. No, but where are the trees and the bushes and the flowers? Anything changed? I don't think anything changed. Okay, it is getting repetitive. Not gonna lie, it's like... Oh. Well, there's our exit. Can I still press it? I cannot. I wonder how long it's been. I see all this desert and I'm instantly thirsty. Can I go up? I cannot. Does it matter where we're going? I mean, everything looks the same. Oh. Or it looks like nothing. And we're back. We're back at our office.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What changed? New content. It's the new. Let's see what's new. I love it that the game...
You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
I love that the game still allows you to explore. We can still go forward into the meeting room and into the boss room. It will allow you to explore. I love it. But I'm too interested to see what the new content is. Excited. I'm normal. Just so you know. I'm normal. Most of the time. When I'm not playing video games. Okay, an elevator.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Okay. The end is never the end again.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Testing 2 printers at the same time. I never met a printer that worked from the first try. You want to try 2 printers? That's just being suicidal. Welcome. Investors, yes.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now
Artistic
that's an
statement.
artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Oh, the door opened for us. I actually really like the design. They're back. 2 doors. New content is out. New content part 2 is in. Old and busted. New hotness. Cool red section of the chart. Yes. That's the way charts work. The color red.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be,
Phase
but
the
let's take a
sequel.
look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Who took the red marker? Me. This way to the show floor. New features. Or that's very like TED Talk, right? That's even the colors of TED Talk. Okay.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Very magnificent, yet still nothing. No screenshots. Okay. A whole new office. Amazing. Red is the new orange. Like orange is the new black. Okay, okay. Okay, the new update ray traced. More of the same, but in a good way. New features. But there are no new features. Consistent quality with just the right amount of change. Merch. Can I get a t-shirt? I would like to get a t-shirt. I cannot. Why are you sad? Infinite hole sounds terrifying. The jump circle, that was fascinating. Why is he so sad though? Collect them all. What are we collecting? Oh, it looks so pretty.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the
Terrifying.
Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
A sassy gentleman indeed. Right? And it's just pitch black. Okay.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
New and easy achievement. Get it here. Let's go get an easy achievement. It just works. Pull the lever, receive your new achievement. No more steps.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
You will give me the achievement. Give it to me. I was lied to. No achievement for us. Can we go in here? Nothing happened. Okay. Okay.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
What's over here?
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
The Get Well Soon, because our mental state isn't the greatest lately, not gonna lie. So Get Well Soon. Get well someday. It's not even soon. It's like, I don't even have the faith that you will get well soon. Like, someday. Step niece. Happy 12th birthday, step niece. Someday.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step niece, it is.
That wasn't nice. That wasn't nice at all. I'm happy for the step niece, but hope she gets well someday. It even added the balloons in all the pictures.
Maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
We're moving on. Reassurance bucket. Let's get reassured by a bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game.
Yes, please.
It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind.
Can I get one in real life?
It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable.
Legit.
Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution.
The bucket.
Come on, give it a try.
Can you imagine in real life, every time you're having like a mental breakdown and everything is terrible and you just want to sleep, scream, and eat all at the same time? Someone just comes from around the corner and hands you a bucket, right? Just a bucket, nothing in it, just a random bucket. And then you hold it and you hug it and you suddenly feel great. No, it never occurred to you, that thought? The bucket of joy? You're weird. You're very weird.
Can you feel it?
Yes.
The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, Can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
I'm very charismatic
I think that just
today.
holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Thank you.
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
More attractive as a person. Do I have to carry this bucket till the end of the game now? Can I just leave it here? Can I jump? Can I... Well, I can still squat with it, but... Am I just gonna... Okay, the door opened. I'm just carrying a random bucket now. Okay.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
It should. Okay, where haven't we been yet? Hear your name?
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want?
What do they want?
And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people.
Validated.
So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Isn't it always Stanley though? The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Jim?
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Well, first of all, I feel very sad for Jim. His love crashed and life crashed, and I don't want to be Jim. Sounds like a terrible thing to be Jim. But we still have the bucket, right? So maybe it will help Jim to recover. So we're basically helping Jim, right? Yes.
Jim. Yes,
What a thrill.
You see? What a thrill. What a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again. Do it again.
Jim.
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 It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money.
It will not.
Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this
Emotionally
personal
drained.
validation.
He's too emotionally drained from this personal validation. I'm still carrying the bucket. How long am I gonna carry that bucket? Okay, so we've been
I
here.
suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
That's true. Have we been here?
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
He looks so sad, so miserable. Infinite hole, free achievement. We didn't try the infinite hole yet. Where is the infinite hole? We were here. And we chose the balloons.
Come now, you've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly, but we all have to move on from our mistakes.
You are correct. We haven't been in the jump circle, but
You
we
know
were
what?
in the beginning.
Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle. Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
I love it how it's... They used tape to create the circle. I love it. Exit.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to?
Yes.
Ready to move on now?
Yes. Can I leave the bucket? Or the bucket is a part of me now? No screenshots.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment.
Let's.
I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course.
Tastefully, like the
with
bucket.
Respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold
Like
and
Ultra Deluxe?
uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
The Stanley Parable 2. Begin. The end is never the end is never the end. Which is true.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Or Jim. Are we Jim?
Stanley worked for a company
You
in
see
a
the
big building
balloons?
where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on it.
Okay. First of all, as I said, we can see the balloons. The happy birthday
All of his
adopted
co-workers were
niece.
gone. What could it
Step
mean?
niece.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So we're gonna find a collectible, right? We already saw the balloons. We're gonna find a collectible. A bucket. What else was there? The infinite hole. A bucket. There it is. Our trusty, beloved bucket. Only one thing you can do with a bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Hold it.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to
Simply
be.
the place to be.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct?
Of
Was this better than the
course.
meeting room?
Such a beautiful
Yes, Stanley
room.
thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Look at this beautiful room with such dirty carpets. It's amazing. I love it.
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
It wasn't wrong.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Is that the way my bucket sounds? Do not lie. If you're lying right now, stop.
Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do. Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
You know, if you reach the point in your life when a bucket is talking to you, just do what
In
it
here,
says.
said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here. Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Okay. Listen to me. Listen carefully. If you hear a bucket giving you orders, do what it says, okay? Then call your nearest psychiatric hospital. But first of all, do what it says. Avoid any trouble with the bucket committee. Avoid any trouble with whatever your mental state is. Listen to the bucket. Then call a psychiatrist. But listen to the bucket. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for listening. By the way, can we jump down? Can we? I kind of want to try it. Whee!
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
It is very touching. Okay, we're back. We're back.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Anything different here?
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever.
The bucket can
Perhaps
be warm.
his boss's
metal.
office was where he'd find answers.
Okay. Broom closet?
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket.
No.
You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy.
No.
It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket.
Well, fuck no.
I can really feel it now.
No.
It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies.
My
Good for
bucket.
you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket.
I shall never.
I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet...
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked
I wanted to
upstairs
take
to
my
the
bucket.
boss's office.
The last time we went down, we died. But that was last time, right? Oh,
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these. Only the
reward.
intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and
Oh,
every
it looks so
moment you come
sad.
across one of these beautiful
so miserable.
figurines.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fined for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy.
I'm
And then
back.
something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
I am holding
He
a
looked
bucket.
down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort.
Oh,
And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket.
It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket?
How?
This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence
How
of his
can it
bucket?
be right without his bucket, right?
Now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him. Stanley! Stanley, it's me!
The bucket is calling to me.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from
Normal.
room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me. He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks.
I
He
love
knew
it that
where
my,
the voice
my
of the bucket
bucket
had been
has an
coming from.
English accent.
The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly
The real
painful.
bucket.
Stanley
is here.
doubled over in agony and blacked out.
That's the truth.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
That's the one that found our body?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work.
Yeah.
But on
We're
this
dead,
particular
but she's
day,
holding
her
our
walk was
bucket.
interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket.
That must be it,
Of course, he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with
If
him.
only he'd taken his
Perhaps he
bucket.
didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance
Absolute
and total clarity on
guidance.
everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself. My life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
She That wasn't very nice. She has a bucket. She took our bucket. And we died.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh. Oh. That's new. Give me my bucket.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley
The girl
embraced
needs
the
her
bucket.
bucket. How we can find them? What makes them float in the air? Who took these pictures of them? Those are great questions. Oh, there will be a reward for finding all of them. Will there? Oh, but now I want to go back and search for them. I just assumed that they won't be any. Don't look at my bucket. Any Stanley
Stanley.
figurines?
Can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket.
No, fuck
you
off.
can
That's
feel
my
that, can't you?
bucket.
The aura of jealousy
Okay,
coming
we
to a
found one
staircase. Stanley
downstairs.
and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Let's go to the boss's office. Oh,
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
another Stanurine under my belt. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money. Money. Stanley, over here, please. In the elevator, maybe? No, Stanley.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
The soothing
Even
presence
now,
of the bucket.
in his darkest of hours,
What was
did
the
the
code?
bucket's warmth and guiding light
4,
pierce
8,
the
5?
dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always.
Always.
The bucket would. And he knew it.
The bucket.
The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk.
Kinda
Nor in
noticed.
his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the
Yes.
keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Sheer luck.
Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Probably, yes. What other way could I've known if not for the bucket guiding me? Oh, another Stanley.
Okay, I'm getting back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between
4 out
Stan
of
Loreens
6.
and Figlers.
We're
What do you
good.
think, Stanley?
We're
What
good.
name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1?
I actually
Let me
love
sit
it.
on
I love collecting
I'm sure
things.
it will come to me.
Amazing. Let's go. The end
The
is not the
elevator
end, I
raced
guess.
downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that
I
in this
need a
darkest
bucket
moment
like
of
this in my
uncertainty,
life.
he would
I don't
be
know how
all
about
right.
you.
The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
We all need a bucket in our lives.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
We have a decision to make.